Mercredi 29 août 2012, il est midi. Nous nous envolons pour San Francisco, le point de départ de Campus Campaign. Une semaine après notre arrivée, nous réalisons notre tout premier reportage auprès de la communauté musulmane de San Francisco, à la mosquée de Noor al-Islam. Vendredi 15h, sortie de prière pour les musulmans de San Francisco. La ville ne compte pas moins de 6 mosquées. Aux États-Unis, on recense environ 2,5 millions de pratiquants, un chiffre en hausse depuis 10 ans. Nous sommes allés à la rencontre de ces fidèles et de leur imam, le cheikh Safwat Morsi. Il nous a expliqué ce que signifie, selon lui, être musulman aujourd'hui aux États-Unis.
I'm here in San Francisco 12 years ago. We don't have one problem. From the people, from the society. We don't have any problem as a personal, as a family, and as a community. The Muslim in American, the Muslim in San Francisco, we are one in the society, one community in the society. You know, here in the masjid, we don't have a kitchen. It's important story. We don't have a kitchen, and we have the month of Ramadan. We have to cook to serve more than 200, 250 every day. Do you know where we cook where we cook? We cook in the church.
And do you think that in the more, how do you say, the more larger sense, not just in your community, not just in San Francisco, but in the media, in politics, do you think Islam is well talked about? Do you think there's a good image of Islam?
In America, we have thousands channels. But I don't focus on Fox News. Because Fox News just to talk about the negative in Islam, talk about negative in Islam, negative in Islam. I don't have a time to follow Fox News and to talk about what is Fox News said. All the people, all the American people, all the Muslims know it, what is the Fox News agenda. But majority, the Muslim in America, I believe, they go better than better.
Rofida est la fille de l'imam. À 22 ans, cette étudiante en psychologie vit sa foi très sereinement, entre tradition et modernité. Elle ne comprend pas que le fait d'être musulman puisse être publiquement associé à un handicap, comme ce fut le cas il y a 4 ans.
In the elections in the past, there was accusations of Obama being Muslim. And the one thing that got me with that is the word accusation. And that's because you're supposed to only be an American to be a president. Religion and all that stuff does not matter. And so people were saying he's really a Muslim. And I remember McCain coming out saying, no, he's not. He's a good Christian man. And what the new broadcaster was saying, response was, so what if he's a Muslim? I do believe that nowadays there are more people more willing to learn, more willing to understand. It's actually kind of nice. It's really liberating to get questions asked instead of just being stared at like this, like some weirdo walking down the streets. I know you're curious, come and approach me, you know.
2 jours après la mosquée et notre première université visitée, nous récupérons la voiture avec laquelle nous allons parcourir plus de 12 000 km à travers les États-Unis. Notre deuxième arrêt aura lieu à Provo, dans l'Utah, où nous avons été accueillis à Brigham Young University. Il nous aura fallu plus de 3 mois pour obtenir l'autorisation de tournage dans l'ancienne université de Mitt Romney.
Au cœur des montagnes de l'Utah se trouve le plus grand campus religieux des États-Unis, Brigham Young University. 30 000 élèves y sont inscrits, dont 99% de mormons. C'est ici que Mitt Romney a réalisé une partie de ses études. BYU est une université comme les autres, à ceci près que la religion y est présente partout, en permanence, ce qui convient parfaitement à Lorraine.
I really wanted to be in an environment where I could study my religion and secular subjects at the same time. And that's what's kind of nice about BYU, as a physics major especially, is I'm not taking religion classes that are attacking my scientific methods, and I'm not taking science classes that are attacking my religious beliefs. They're one and the same. So we're able to study things that are just all-encompassing. You know, we talk about religion in my science classes. We talk about science in my religion classes. There's no conflict at BYU, which I really enjoy.
BYU est une université réputée, notamment pour son école de commerce. Mais selon Sean, étudiant en dernière année, la qualité des cours n'est pas le seul facteur qui compte pour ses futurs employeurs.
I think they come to recruit BYU students because they know they're going to get students who live a life of integrity, who know how to work hard. And I think that's a real scoop for the employers in the world to come here and recruit BYU students because they know they're getting students who had a top-notch education and that live by this honor code, which is what most businesses and companies would want somebody to live by anyways.
Ce code d'honneur est un contrat passé entre les étudiants et leur université. Il répond aux règles de l'église mormone et les substances addictives comme l'alcool, le tabac ou même le café sont prohibées. À BYU, la religion se pratique au quotidien. Chaque classe débute par une prière et les cours de religion sont obligatoires. Plusieurs fois par semaine, élèves et professeurs se réunissent tous ensemble pour célébrer leur foi. Pour ces professeurs de sciences politiques, la religion est un aspect indissociable de la vie du campus.
The religious life is the first thing to all of us. Religion, family, and then profession and recreation and other such things come next. I think it's no secret that an important objective for many, I wouldn't by any means say all, but an important objective for many is to meet their future husband or wife here on campus. So that's that sort of bridges the religious and social life.
The other feature that I think is unique about Brigham Young University is that so many of our students have served LDS missions where they've taken 2 years out of their studies and gone oftentimes to foreign lands. And then they come back and they're 21 years old and they've had experience in France or in Germany or in India or in Japan or in Taiwan or whatever. And they're serious students and they're very mature.
Effectuer sa mission à l'étranger, aux États-Unis, est en effet une étape clé dans le parcours des étudiants mormons. Si les jeunes filles ont le choix de partir, l'expérience est presque une obligation pour les garçons. Ces missions ont pour but de répandre l'évangile et faire connaître la religion mormone. La tâche n'est pas toujours facile, mais elle possède une saveur particulière pour Sean, qui rentre tout juste d'une mission en France.
C'est comme par exemple un très très bon gâteau, au chocolat bien sûr, qui est super bon. Et ben, j'ai ce gâteau et j'aime partager ce gâteau avec d'autres gens. C'est tout simplement ça. Je sais que ça peut rendre d'autres gens heureux. Et sérieusement, c'est pour ça que je suis parti en mission.
Une année scolaire à BYU coûte moins de $5 000 pour les élèves mormons, le double pour les autres. C'est un rapport qualité-prix imbattable pour ces étudiants qui attachent une grande importance à la vie en communauté, sous le regard bienveillant du fondateur de leur campus.
Après 10 jours chez les Mormons, nous reprenons la route pour une longue, très longue traversée du désert. Pendant 3 jours, nous allons voir des paysages magnifiques, croiser quelques vieux cow-boys dans des stations essence sans âge et filmer des heures entières grâce à la petite caméra fixée à la voiture par les bons soins d'Hugo. Musique. Arrivé au sud du Texas, la chaleur est insoutenable, chaque déplacement à l'extérieur relève de l'épreuve physique et malgré les réserves emportées, nous finissons toujours par manquer d'eau avant la fin des tournages. Ici, le climat est mexicain, comme Arturo et Jorge, les étudiants que nous avons rencontrés pour ce reportage.
The American spacecraft Discovery 1 left on its half-billion-mile voyage to Jupiter. It was the first and attempt. Earlier this afternoon, the world flight recorded in Neptune.
First, my parents bring me here to know a little bit more of the culture here, more English. I'm from Mexico City. Right now, I'm going to college. I'm making now my life, and I'm just trying to find a way in where I can fix my papers in order to work here in the United States, you know.
I first came here at age 12 after my grandfather died and my grandma was alone here in the city of Brownsville. I decided to come and help her out and learn the language. I was here for a couple of years. Then I had to leave the country, but I needed to come back, so that's when I came back at age 15. After that, I enrolled in high school. I finished my high school. I enrolled in the university. I became the president of the Student Government Association. And then I tried fixing my legal status, and that's when I didn't get it, and instead I got a deportation order.
How is it different when you don't have any papers? What does it change in your everyday life?
It's everything, man. Like I have a lot of friends that they live here, and they let's say right now it's Friday, and I have some friends that they went to Austin, the capital, and it's awesome to be over there. It's awesome to go to Houston. It's awesome to know those other places, but we can't go.
When you came here at age 15, did you have the impression that you were committing a crime?
Not really. I was a child back then. I didn't know what was happening.
And you're president of the Student Government Association here at UTB?
Yes.
Do you see your situation is the same as many students at Brownsville?
Yes, unfortunately there's a lot of students in this situation that were brought by their parents when they were children, and now they don't have a legal status and their whole families are here. So they cannot work, get driver's licenses or travel. They're stuck in this area.
The way you describe it, it seems very difficult to be living here, but you still want to stay here and not go back to Mexico. Why?
Because I love it, man. It's just like I love this country, man, because it gives me so much. Like it gives me education, it gives me like my friends, it gives me my family's here with me. Like I know if I can make the sacrifice to this, if these guys make the sacrifice to pass that law about the DREAM Act and everything, I know, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be better than the guys that are from here.
I'm accustomed to this area. I love this place. I've had the privilege to get an education, meet a lot of people. All my friends are here, my family is here, so I feel like I'm part of this place.
And would you be okay with going back to Mexico?
No, I wouldn't be okay. I want to stay in the United States because this has been my home since I was 12.
Let's have real rules that only makes economic sense, social sense, just sense. And what we're seeing right now in this area is that we are coming to a point where local police and the whole public has focused a lot of their frustrations on immigrants, saying that the immigrants are the cause of a lot of things that are going wrong in the country. But if you really realize, most immigrants that come to this country are not criminals. Most immigrants that came here to this country, they came here because there was a need for them. And for many years, they used them. I believe that the Democratic Party will be in a better position to do some changes that are realistic. I mean, they have expressed their interest, and in a way, the ones that have been objecting to it have been the Republicans. For example, the DREAM Act is an initiative that was supported for McCain for one time, which was the presidential candidate. And then now he opposes it. Why he opposes it? Because his base is saying, these people are here scaring people. They're here, using our benefits. They're not contributing. Why should we care about them? They broke the law. And the reality is, I explained to you, that is not what they did.
Ultime arrêt avant de quitter le Texas, Padre Island, une presqu'île paradisiaque qui baigne dans le golfe du Mexique. Nous nageons avec les poissons et les amis que nous avons rencontrés à Brownsville. Et emportons malgré nous un peu de sable dans la voiture, direction la Nouvelle-Orléans.
There is a house in New Orleans. They call the rising sun.
Il est des endroits au monde où les éléments aiment se déchaîner sans laisser beaucoup de répit aux habitants. La Nouvelle-Orléans en fait partie. En 2005, cette ville du sud de la Louisiane a été engloutie par les flots après le passage de l'ouragan Katrina. 5 ans plus tard, une plateforme pétrolière de l'entreprise BP explose dans le golfe du Mexique. La marée noire est redoutable. Cette catastrophe écologique sans précédent frappe de plein fouet le littoral américain. Cette période a été particulièrement intense pour les écologistes du Sierra Club, la plus grosse association de défense environnementale aux États-Unis.
You can look at after Katrina or after the oil disaster. We're just constantly reminded how our federal and state agencies are not equipped enough in some cases, or just not have the political will to do the work that they need to do down here in Louisiana. Or across the Gulf Coast for that matter. We're often a forgotten region and left to be the sacrifice zone for the rest of America for our oil and gas production.
Yeah, I think there's been a growing awareness over the past 7 years since Hurricane Katrina about the impacts of global warming, climate change, sea level rise, how those impact us with stronger storms. We just had a small Hurricane Isaac, which caused significant flooding in the area. So I think more and more people are understanding that we need to protect our wetlands, rebuild our wetlands, and also think about how to reduce our emissions and work on global warming issues.
Dans l'ouest de la Nouvelle-Orléans se trouve le Lower Ninth Ward, un quartier pauvre encerclé par les eaux. Ici, il n'y a plus de supermarché depuis au moins 20 ans. Les commerçants ont déserté les lieux, fatigués de devoir tout reconstruire après chaque inondation. D'autres en revanche sont restés et se battent pour restaurer le Ninth Ward. C'est le cas d'Arthur Johnson et de son association écologiste.
CSED was started right after Hurricane Katrina, the disaster that hit. And the purpose of it, its mission, is to help residents in the lower Ninth Ward which are all the residents, because this whole area was flooded with at least 6 feet of water and above. And so it destroyed just about every structure and affected every resident. Now, I mean, we're coming back, but we're only maybe about a fifth of the population is back. So many of the businesses never came back. Schools, we have one school now where we had, I think, 4. And helping people to understand that recovery is not just rebuild, but it's building, it's growth. We now have gardens up. Community centers being worked on. People in the community are starting to take ownership again, are starting to build, but it's a long haul.
John Taylor est spécialiste des zones humides. Il milite pour une reconstruction plus éco-responsable de son quartier. Il réclame également une politique gouvernementale plus cohérente. Selon lui, il faut mieux dépenser l'argent et davantage anticiper les catastrophes à venir.
If we don't repair the wetlands and our coastlines, we're going to continue on spending money repairing houses. You build a brand new house today and it floods again, that brand new house is just damaged as much as an old house. You have to be repaired again and over and over and over again. So if you stop the flooding, you won't have to repair flooded houses. And the government, if we don't see it will see it because of all the things man have done was done by us, by man. And Mother Nature is just getting fed up with it. I mean, global warming, I mean, some scientists say there's no such thing as global warming, but you don't have to be a scientist to realize the temperatures are hotter than it was before. You know, this time in September would be cooler than it is now. It's still almost 90 degrees in New Orleans. You know, it's 89. It would be in the 60s normally. So that's not global warming, what is it?
Si le milieu associatif se mobilise autant à la Nouvelle-Orléans, c'est aussi parce qu'ici, beaucoup ont l'impression que l'environnement ne trouve pas sa place dans le débat politique et encore moins dans la campagne présidentielle. Et pour cause, ce n'est absolument pas le sujet de préoccupation principale des électeurs. En 2010, un Américain sur deux pensait que la menace du réchauffement climatique était exagérée par la communauté scientifique. Pour la première fois depuis plus d'un mois, nous empruntons la route qui nous mène vers le nord. Les paysages changent, la chaleur devient plus supportable, et tandis que Mitt Romney et Barack Obama s'apprêtent à engager leur premier débat télévisé, nous partons à la rencontre des joueurs de football universitaire de Géorgie. Samedi ordinaire en Géorgie, deux équipes universitaires s'affrontent au cours d'un match de football américain. L'organisation est impressionnante, mais l'événement assez banal. Ici, c'est toutes les semaines la même chose. Ben Beatty est directeur adjoint de la communication pour les Bulldogs, l'équipe de l'Université de Géorgie.
So, can you tell us a bit more about football culture at UGA?
Sure. Here in the Southeastern Conference, football is king, and football is a pride of a lot of schools here in the southeastern part of the United States, and definitely here at Georgia is no exception. There's a rich history and tradition of winning here, and you can see a lot of trophies, a lot of bowl games, a lot of games have been won, national championships, awards, and it's a pride of a lot of people who live in this part of the country, so they take it very seriously.
Un sujet d'autant plus sérieux que les joueurs de l'équipe ne sont pas seulement des grands sportifs, ils sont aussi étudiants. Aux États-Unis, il n'y a pas de centre de formation pour les jeunes joueurs comme en France. Tout se passe au sein des universités. La compétition est rude. Seuls 3 ou 4 d'entre eux rejoindront ensuite les équipes de professionnels au niveau national. Alors certes, les diplômes qu'ils préparent ne sont pas les plus prestigieux, mais cela permet au moins de s'assurer un avenir autre que sportif en cas d'échec sur le terrain. Can you tell us what's like being both a student and a football player here in UGA?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of work. I mean, because we have to come here and put in so many hours every day with football, and what most people don't realize is how much work we actually put in, not just on the field, but actually in meeting rooms and watching film and having to learn a lot of stuff. And then on top of that, after a real long, tiring day of football, you have to go and take care of all your classroom work. So I mean, it's a really hard thing that we have to do, and you have to really be focused, and it's really time consuming. So I mean, it's something that you really have to work hard at.
In high school, you know, you never play in front of that many people. And just to come out and just see everybody cheering for you and showing support for you, it's amazing, you know. I can't even explain the feeling of running out of the tunnel and just, you know, have fans cheering so loud that you can't even hear yourself talk. So, but it's definitely an experience. It's something, you know, you would have to experience to just understand the whole feeling of it. But it's rewarding, it's a blessing, and you just got to take advantage of it.
Cette passion pour le football est aussi une bonne affaire pour les journalistes. Ils noircissent des pages entières de leurs quotidiens locaux grâce aux exploits de l'équipe universitaire. Certains se risquent tout de même à évoquer une part de démesure dans l'engouement suscité par ce sport sur le campus. C'est le cas de Seth Emerson.
if you're showing your people around here all the glitzy stuff that's going on here, that they'll say you should be doing that. You shouldn't be spending it on you should be spending it on getting better professors and more books and whatever. But they'll tell you that the money that does all this comes from fans attending games. The fact of the matter is, every Saturday in the fall, 100,000 people flock to stadium here or in Tennessee and Alabama, and that brings in money that just isn't there for academics. And I don't think it's right, but it's what people do. 100,000 people don't show up to watch a math Olympics. They show up to watch football. So it's America. It's the capitalist system. It's what the market decides.
Ce business peut en effet rapporter gros. Si les joueurs ne sont pas payés pour leurs prestations sportives, l'argent gravite partout autour d'eux. Sponsors, billetterie et vente de produits dérivés. En Géorgie comme ailleurs, le football universitaire est un acteur à part entière de l'économie locale. « 16 heures de route séparent Athens de Chicago. La traversée des Grandes Plaines américaines sera l'un de nos derniers longs trajets. À 100 km au sud du bastion d'Obama se trouve le stand de tir de Kankakee. La circulation des armes à feu est un sujet qui revient régulièrement sur le devant de la scène aux États-Unis. Nous sommes allés à la rencontre des défenseurs du port d'armes.
Is it important to you to have the right to own firearms?
Absolutely, because the firearms are the basis of freedom in the United States. Firearms are what got our freedom. Firearms are what maintains our freedom. Those who are deprived of their use generally fall under the control of the government. In the United States, there's one thing that we know, and that is the government can't protect you, and if it gets in a tough spot, it won't protect you. So the only thing you can do is protect yourself.
Do you need a lot of weapons to protect yourself, or is one enough?
Well, no, one is not enough, because there are many types of situations you might be in. I have a handgun right now with me. That's good up to about 25 yards. That's a shotgun. That's good up to about 50 yards, and a rifle is good up to about 100 yards or beyond.
So you don't think there should be a limit as to how many guns someone
No.
can own?
The Second Amendment of the United States says that the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That's an infringement. I'm very grateful we have it. I'm very grateful the Founding Fathers put it in, and we intend to enforce it.
Are you scared for your rights to own arms in the future?
We always have to watch out for that. But you got to remember, we own arms to resist any type of takeover, and we will do that. In World War II, Yamamoto said, "Never invade the United States. There's a gun behind every blade of grass," and there is. So, and we intend to keep it that way.
And do you know any gun owner who himself committed a crime?
Actually, no, I don't. There was a study done in the city of Chicago, and we have a thing called the Firearm Owner's Identification Card. And there was testimony in Springfield, which is the state capital, and they asked a Chicago detective that, under oath, how many legitimate firearm owners that he had ever come in contact in his 20-some years as a detective that had committed a crime, and his answer was none.
Do you feel personally safer with a gun?
Absolutely. I've been attacked 3 times in my life. 3 times in my life I've had a firearm, and the only thing that happened was the criminal ran away.
And you think you wouldn't have if you didn't have a gun?
Exactly. Once there were 4 of them. There's no other way to handle a gang of 4 people than to have a firearm. Even the best karate expert can't do that one.
In self-defense, should a gun-carrying person be allowed to shoot at someone?
Only if his life is threatened.
In your case, it wasn't the case?
Well, it was going to be the case. One of them was a jewelry store. A guy came in, and I operated a jewelry store near a university. A guy came in, locked the door behind him, turned around with a pipe in his hand and said, "What would you do?" Well, why he said this, I never know. "What would you do if I tried to rob you?" I drew my .45 automatic and said, "I'll shoot you with this." He said, "That's all I need to know," and he left. So see, and I lost a customer.
Ah, vas-y. Allez, dirige-toi, putain.
Tightly. Okay, go ahead.
Après avoir abattu quelques cibles, nous regagnons Chicago. Objectif, combattre l'idée reçue selon laquelle l'université américaine coûte forcément très cher. Aux États-Unis, il existe une solution alternative pour les étudiants qui n'ont pas les moyens de s'offrir 4 années d'études dans une université classique. Cette solution s'appelle le Community College. Ces formations à bas coût durent 2 ans. Elles permettent aux étudiants d'entrer rapidement dans le monde du travail ou alors d'économiser de l'argent pour ensuite intégrer une autre université. Anna King est professeure au Truman College de Chicago. Elle nous détaille le profil de ses élèves.
A community college can be for someone who's 18 and just starting college, for someone who's 32 and just returning to college, for someone who is making a career change and looking at college. A community college offers multiple pathways within one institution. Students who start their general education at a community college save $40,000 for the first 2 years of their education. $40,000.
And do you sometimes feel that community college might be seen in a negative light by either employers or by general public? Is there a negative view sometimes of community colleges?
I think historically, community colleges had that bad image of you're not ready, you're not good enough for university, therefore you're going to community college. But that has changed dramatically in the past, I would say even 20 years, especially with the way tuition is escalating in four-year institutions. A lot of talented students are looking with their wallets and they're thinking, I can get the same level of education from the first 2 years at a community college and then transfer. And so it's not seen negatively by the receiving institution.
Chicago compte 7 community colleges, soit 120 000 étudiants. L'Institut culinaire de Washburn est l'un d'entre eux. Ici, on apprend à cuisiner les pâtisseries françaises. Aïcha a perdu son travail en juillet 2011. Elle débute sa 2e année à l'école de cuisine.
It's a huge advantage when you compare Washburn's tuition prices in comparison to the other big name schools that we have here in Chicago. I'm not sure if I can mention the names, but the tuition is definitely a lot more affordable, I believe, for a lot of us in the community and around Chicago and around the world as well.
Without this class and this program, I don't know, it would be a lot harder for me to go into the industry without blind, because if you go into the industry blind, you won't be able to do many things. Here they pretty much prepare you, and once you're out there, you pretty much know what you have to do. So I think it's helpful.
Si les community colleges sont aujourd'hui des institutions mieux reconnues que par le passé, c'est en partie grâce au travail de la mairie de Chicago qui met en place des réformes éducatives depuis plusieurs années. Laurent Pernaut est vice-chancelier des community colleges de la ville.
Est-ce qu'il y a une mission particulière vraiment qui vous tient à cœur en tant qu'administrateur des colleges, ou est-ce que vous voyez juste comme une université, peut-être un peu différemment?
I think il y a une mission vraiment spécifique, et c'est vraiment la mission qu'on est ouvert à tous, et on est vraiment là pour aider. La plupart de nos étudiants, leurs parents ne sont pas allés à l'université, ne sont pas allés à une fac, ne sont pas allés à un community college. Donc il y a aussi une aide culturelle. Les étudiants n'ont pas un système de soutien à la maison, un système de soutien de la famille qui comprend ce qu'est l'éducation supérieure. 90% des jeunes qui obtiennent leur diplôme de fin d'études du secondaire ici à Chicago ne sont en fait pas prêts académiquement, scolairement, pour la fac. Donc la première chose qu'on fait, c'est de les remettre à niveau. 90% de nos étudiants ont besoin de remise à niveau. Donc c'est pas quelque chose qui est acceptable. Et le maire, évidemment, veut s'assurer que la qualité du système secondaire s'améliore. Mais en attendant, il faut bien aider ces étudiants. Bon, d'un autre côté, c'est vrai que les fonds publics payent 2 fois pour la même chose. On paye pour étudier quelqu'un au lycée et on paye pour leur donner la même éducation une 2e fois parce qu'on ne l'a pas fait correctement la première fois. Donc c'est vraiment c'est un gaspillage relativement important, non seulement d'argent, mais aussi du temps et de l'énergie de ces étudiants. Donc on leur doit de remédier à ça, mais c'est quelque chose qui va se réformer sur de nombreuses années.
Aux États-Unis, le nombre d'étudiants en community college n'a cessé d'augmenter depuis 10 ans. Ils étaient 5,5 millions en 2000 et plus de 8 millions en 2011. Les spécialistes y voient à la fois la conséquence de l'amélioration du niveau de ces universités, mais aussi l'impact de la crise économique qui pousse les étudiants vers des cursus universitaires moins onéreux. Après un passage par les chutes du Niagara, nous nous dirigeons définitivement vers la côte Est et la région de Boston pour rencontrer les membres du Tea Party. Faute de logement le soir, nous avons dormi dans la voiture, soit au moins 2 bonnes raisons de ne jamais oublier cette soirée haute en couleurs. Drôle d'ambiance pour assister au 3e débat de la campagne présidentielle. Dans l'arrière-salle d'un bar reculé du Massachusetts, se sont réunis une vingtaine de membres du Tea Party. La naissance de ce courant ultra-conservateur fait suite à 2 événements majeurs aux États-Unis, l'élection du président démocrate Barack Obama et l'entrée dans la crise économique à la fin de l'année 2008. Christine Morabito est responsable du Tea Party pour la région de Boston.
What is the Tea Party?
The Tea Party is a group of grassroots citizens who became very concerned about the direction of this country. With the Obama administration and its massive overreach into every aspect of our lives, as far as taking over our healthcare industry, taking over the car industry, taking over the student loan industry, these things were very concerning to us. We felt that the taxpayers were constantly being asked to sacrifice more and more and more, yet our legislators continue to spend our money with very little accountability.
Is the voice of the Tea Party heard in American politics? Do you have an impact?
Absolutely. And I think that the way we know that we're being heard is how much we get attacked by our opponents. You know, I always say they can't stop talking about how irrelevant we are. You know, if we really didn't matter, they would stop talking about us, and they keep attacking, which gets really frustrating and really difficult to deal with at times. But to me, that just says that we do have an impact.
Do you, recognize yourself in the bipartisan Democrat-Republican, or is the Tea Party trying to be a third voice in the debate?
I think most of us would say we're not interested in being a third party because third parties don't generally work very well. As Reagan said, we don't need a third party, we need a revitalized second party.
Ron Paul, le candidat proche du Tea Party, a échoué lors des dernières primaires républicaines. Les membres du Tea Party ont donc opté pour la stratégie du moins pire et soutiennent désormais Mitt Romney. Cela ne les empêche pas de donner de la voix pour faire valoir les bases de leur projet, réduire considérablement le rôle de l'État et le poids des taxes. Éric Golub est un humoriste au conservatisme assumé et revendiqué.
Here I am, conservative Tea Party, and proud of it always. Thank you so very much.
What are your political views?
I'm a conservative.
In what sense?
I believe in tax cuts to spur economic growth. I don't believe in higher taxes on the wealthy. I believe that European-style social democracies are collapsing. I also believe in a very muscular American foreign policy. Radical Islam has already taken down most of Europe, and it's going to take down the United States if we don't do anything about it. So I can sum it up in 4 words. Cut taxes, kill terrorists. We have a president who wants America to be more like Europe. Meanwhile, lonely voices in Europe are saying, no, don't be like us. So I'm very worried because if America goes down, it's over for the world.
You go all over the country. You talk to people ask you questions. Do you feel that your point of view, is it shared with a lot of people across the country, that this country is heading in the wrong direction?
This is a very divided country. A lot of people believe we're going in the wrong direction, but Barack Obama has successfully, to some degree, made the case that everything was George W. Bush's fault. That's wrong. That's a complete lie. But it's not what the truth is, it's what you can sell. Barack Obama is a great salesman, and the fact is that Barack Obama's policies are pure poison. And while people agree that times are tough, they don't agree as to whose fault it is. And Barack Obama has never once taken responsibility for anything. He's a narcissist. Something is always somebody else's fault. What the left likes to do is say that all conservatives are racist, sexist, bigots, and homophobes. That's their idea of dialogue, okay? We're evil people who want to kill old people, we want to starve children, we want to kick puppies and kittens. It's boring already.
Le Tea Party est un exemple très concret du degré de division politique qui règne aux États-Unis. La côte Est, progressiste et européanisée, s'oppose aux États plus conservateurs du Sud et de l'Ouest. En 2010, 28% des électeurs américains disaient se reconnaître dans le programme du Tea Party. On a bien cru ne jamais réussir à réaliser notre sujet sur l'égalité femmes-hommes aux États-Unis. Après plusieurs refus de dernière minute, il a fallu décaler tous nos reportages d'une semaine et trouver en urgence une université prête à nous accueillir. Alors que la fatigue commençait à se faire ressentir, ce changement de programme fut un peu éprouvant, mais finalement, le jeu en valait largement la chandelle. Au cœur du Massachusetts, le campus de Mount Holyoke, une université comme on n'en fait pas en France. Ici, les 2200 étudiants sont des étudiantes. Patricia Vandenberg est directrice de la communication. Elle nous explique pourquoi Mount Holyoke est un élément à part dans le paysage universitaire américain.
How would you describe Mount Holyoke College?
Mount Holyoke is an incredibly special place. It's the oldest women's college in the world. It was founded in 1837 as the first of the Seven Sisters. The Seven Sisters were the female equivalent to what is now the male Ivy League, although the male Ivy League has gone co-ed, and 5 of the sisters have remained single-sex. And from the very beginnings of this college, our founder, Mary Lyons, said to the women who went here, go where no one else will go, do what no one else will do. And the women today still heed that call. They have great courage, a great sense of purpose, and they engage the world in purposeful ways. And often that does mean looking to rectify injustices and to create, really working for the common good, I would say.
Un travail académique un peu particulier à Mount Holyoke puisqu'il s'agit d'une université d'arts libéraux. Les effectifs sont plus réduits que dans les universités classiques et parmi les matières enseignées figurent les études de genre. Beaucoup plus répandu en Amérique du Nord qu'en France, cet enseignement se focalise sur la place et les représentations des femmes et des hommes au sein de la société. Lynn Morgan est professeure d'anthropologie médicale. Elle dirige le département d'études de genre.
There's a lot more interaction between professors and students here than at a large public university. I was just at a large public university last week giving a talk, and one of my colleagues who teaches there said, I actually feel sorry for my students, she said, because they're not getting the kind of education that your students are getting. My students have access to me whenever they want. They can come and talk for an hour about their work, about their lives, about their plans for the future, and they don't get that kind of access in a large public university. So it's really a kind of Cadillac education. It's an education where they really have the opportunity to get to know their professors both inside and outside of the classroom.
Eleanor Tonsley est professeure de sociologie. Après avoir officié au Texas et en Californie, elle a finalement rejoint le corps enseignant de Mount Holyoke.
How is the atmosphere specific in an all-women's college?
Everybody really focuses on that question, and it interests me because, in fact, after I was here 6-8 weeks, I totally forgot that it was an all-women's institution. I mean, you get very accustomed.
And when you talk to your students, are they satisfied with their experience at the college? They seem satisfied?
They do seem satisfied. So, you know, I always joke and I say it's a bit of a cult. Our alums are very, very loyal and they really love this place. I think we take the history here very seriously of women's empowerment and women's leadership, and that we were an institution for women in higher education when really that wasn't a common thing and it wasn't something that everybody supported. And while those times have changed, that's a very strong lineage.
Une grande lignée d'étudiantes dont font partie Nathalie, Justine et surtout Michaela, qui a bien failli ne jamais s'inscrire à Mount Holyoke.
When I was looking at schools, the idea of going to a women's college wasn't at all on my radar. In fact, it was like the last thing I wanted to do. And then as soon as I stepped on campus, I felt this sense of empowerment and community and tradition, and it was just like, this is the place for me, I need to be here.
How would you say it's different to study at an all-women's college rather than a co-ed environment? How is it different?
Probably the biggest reason why it's different is that discussions of gender and discussions of how being female or how not being male influences your life and influences your academics are always a part of the discussion. There's more of a focus on women's issues and on issues like inequality and gender inequality. They're more prevalent on campus and they're more talked about on campus.
One of the biggest steps for feminism was voting rights. Then it was in the U.S. Roe v. Wade. What's the next big step for women's rights in the U.S.?
Hopefully not just trying to keep everything from backsliding.
I don't know that it's so much like one big right per se, but just a general understanding that women are no less than men and that there shouldn't be such a thing as women's rights, it's just human rights. I know personally, like, I have some plans to move to Canada if things don't go in the direction that I want, because, and like that might be crazy and radical, but I don't know that I want to be living in a country where, as a woman, my rights are just not there. And I don't think I'm the only person that feels that way. I know I'm a little radical, but like, I mean, I don't think I'm the only person that's going to move to Canada if things keep going in the direction that they're going.
I'm looking very seriously into graduate school in the United Kingdom, very seriously. And I'm pretty sure that if you check back in with me in about 5 to 10 years, I'll probably be happy in the United Kingdom.
En attendant l'apogée d'une égalité femmes-hommes digne de ce nom, Mount Holyoke reste donc un campus exclusivement féminin et aussi largement féministe. Si le débat sur un éventuel basculement de l'université vers la mixité ressurgit de temps à autre, pour le moment, les garçons n'ont toujours pas le droit de s'inscrire dans cette faculté créée par des femmes pour des femmes. Après Boston, nous sommes allés à New York, la tempête Sandy aussi. Par mesure de précaution, l'université de Columbia dans laquelle nous avions prévu de nous rendre fut fermée pendant notre séjour. Il n'y a donc pas de reportage dans la grosse pomme. En revanche, nous avons ajouté une étape en Virginie juste avant l'élection pour aller suivre des étudiants démocrates de Washington partis faire du porte-à-porte à quelques heures du scrutin.
What?
Do you want me to
No,
take-
I mean like no, because it's just one sheet.
So-
The list we have now is very targeted to be Obama supporters that may not be very strong at coming out to the polls in the past. So our focus is getting our supporters to the polls. So we don't really have a focus at this stage in the election in persuading people. It's more about getting everyone, as many of our supporters, actually to vote on election day as possible. My name is Spencer. I'm a volunteer with President Obama's grassroots re-election campaign. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. I was just coming by to make sure that Brenton got out to vote on Tuesday.
He'll definitely be there.
Great. Well, I just wanted to give him this information. We have here his polling place is White Oak Elementary School.
Right down
over
the
there.
street.
All right. And just another thing is make sure that he brings one of the following IDs, a driver's license, voter. You said he got his voter ID card?
We got everything together, stuff. We will be there.
Oh, great.
Bright and early and stuff. 5:30, 4:30.
Oh, there you
we'll
go.
be there.
It opens at 6 a.m., so it sounds like he's going to be there in the morning?
Yes.
Okay. And will he also be supporting Democrat Tim Kaine for U.S. Senate?
Democrats down the
There we go.
Is it good to see young people out there for the campaign?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, because people don't realize and stuff, that it's the young people that's going to benefit from this and stuff. They look at all those old guys and stuff, and stuff. We've made our run and stuff, but you guys got to make your run. And to see young people out here doing this, it's great. It's great. I love it.
Trying to figure out the address as well. 3656. Did we miss it? Oh, I'm a freshman, so it's my first time really getting involved on the campaign.
Okay. Is it the first time you're going to vote?
Yes.
And how do you feel about it?
Pretty excited to be able to be a part of this, actually.
Do you get people who are mad that
young people come out to their house and knock on doors and stuff?
I actually knocked on a woman's door who was scared I was another Romney person, and so she was really thrilled to see that that wasn't the case. But I do think that with it becoming closer and closer to the election, people do get annoyed, even if they're on your side. You know, they don't want to be bothered all the time, but then you come across people who are just incredibly thankful and energetic about what people are doing for President Obama.
Dernière ligne droite avant l'élection, nous avons attendu ce moment pendant des mois. Nous allons maintenant suivre le résultat de l'élection présidentielle américaine au cœur de l'université de George Washington.
President that provides health care to all Americans, have a social policy. It's great. We support the president, and we're so glad he got elected tonight.
He has the best vision for America. He's going to take us forward instead of backward. We want to be a 21st century country, not a 1940s country.
This isn't the 50s anymore. Women, black people, Hispanics, all are actual Americans. We can stop referring to them as their voting blocs. So, and Obama does. He speaks to everybody. So.
Majority of the United States, and we really needed that to keep students in school, to keep health care in the middle class families. We really needed this for America. So I'm so excited right now. Yeah, Obama 2-term!
Mitt Romney can't hold me back. Mitt Romney can't hold me back. Mitt Romney can't hold me back. Mitt Romney don't pay no time. 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 America, may God thy gold refine till all success be nobleness and when I was in school, you know, we used to sing it something like this. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties,